What an anniversary. Jen, Mom, Linda Barrick, how does it feel watching all of this again? We're 5.5 years removed, in the case of the anniversary, 4.5 years removed. These are, dare I say, magic moments.
Yes, definitely. I feel like God's presence was definitely there the night of the accident, how God really revealed His Spirit on my life, and I think I could have sang
all night long.
All night, definitely.
In fact, Jen had journaled that very day of the wreck. She had journaled all the words to Lord You're Holy. It was her new favorite song. And she journaled, the only way I feel worthy to sing this song is on my face before you. And Jennifer, those words have been so powerful to you. Even 5 years later, you quote them often. What are some of the words to the song that you love?
Well, in the song it says that how God is wonderful, glorious, holy, and righteous, victorious, conqueror, triumphant, and mighty. You're my healer, deliverer, shield and defense, strong tower, and my best friend. And I love that song because it explains all of who God truly is and just all of the power in His name.
Jen often will remind me when I struggle with joy, she'll say, Mom, Jesus is standing right beside you. You can ask Him for whatever you need. You can ask Him for joy.
Well, this song, these words continued to be special to you, evidently meaningful through your recovery, as your dad reflects in this piece.
As she was emerging and getting stronger and doing more things, Jen still couldn't see, she didn't speak that much. She just really knew us by our voice, but we would play songs, and one of them was Lord You Are Holy, the song that she sung the night of the wreck. And she just became so happy, joyful, I would say, when we'd sing that song. And she just mouthed the words. And, it just brought her comfort. She still praised the Lord, even though she couldn't see. She couldn't really speak. But she knew. Well, let me put it this way. Those words meant so much to her. It was incredible. So we would sing it over and over and over.
Linda, in your book, you tell us that your daughter was a deep, quiet thinker.
Yes.
A private person.
Yes.
Jen, you live every day now to share Jesus out loud.
Yes, she does.
There's no fear. There's no holding back.
She had journaled to the Lord, begging Him for boldness because she wanted God to use her. And journal after journal, they're all in the book, but how this quiet 15-year-old that had all the things the world would say were awesome. She was the cheerleader, the varsity soccer player, the straight-A student, but she could not say her feelings out loud. And I would often crawl in bed with her at night, just to try to get her to talk. And I just wanted to hear how her day was. It was very hard to get her to open up and share about her day. And now with the brain injury, she's completely uninhibited. She shares Christ with everyone. She can't help but wear her feelings on the outside of her. And I'll never forget one of the first days we brought her home from the hospital. She said, I'm going to proclaim Christ to a lost and dying world. And she's not even worried about how injured she is. It's just like she had this calling on her life. And
it sounds as if maybe you got marching orders directly from the Lord Himself.
And she would even say, you would say, if one person, do you remember what you would say?
One person gets saved, it'll be enough. It'll be worth it.
Do you know what moved me was to read, I think in your journal notes, your brother, Josh, had prayed out loud at the See You at the Pole event. We have it here too, where students gather on that September day out in front of the school and pray. Pray out loud for their school, for their country. And you heard your little brother praying a really meaningful prayer with confidence. Do you remember what you journaled about that?
Well, this in particular day, it was such an honor to go to the flagpole and to pray for our country and for the teachers and for God's wisdom as well as direction. And, you know, I was praying in my heart, but I wanted to be able to pray out loud, but I couldn't do it. And I thought, you know, praying in my heart, like I knew God heard that, but I wanted more. And then as my eyes are closed and as I'm continuing to pray, I journaled, and then I hear this voice that is all too familiar. And the only reason that Josh actually was with me that day was
he was much younger. He shouldn't have even been there, but he was in 5th grade and Jennifer was in 10th grade, right before the wreck. And she heard him praying out loud and she journaled to the Lord, God, I want Josh's boldness. I'm practically jealous of it. And it was a beautiful journal because she said, I can only imagine the plans you have for my brother, but I want that. I want to be freed up.
You were proud of your brother.
Oh,
she was
very
so
proud
much.
of your brother.
Yes.
But you longed for that courage and boldness. And now,
she has
part of what you do, not only do you have a freedom, but you're kind of on a mission to get people to pray out loud.
Yes.
Thank you.
Some people are well, I remember the first time I was at a women's prayer conference, and I had to sit with one non-threatening, lovely woman and pray one sentence out loud. My heart was going to, I thought, pound right out of my chest.
Right.
It was quite a bridge to cross.
Yes.
You're meeting people who are also reaching into new territory to pray, talk to God.
Yes. And, well, prayer is a way for us to connect with God, and it is a way, too, for Him to help you and to meet you right where you're at.
Jen reminds me all the time that, Mom, God already knows your thoughts. So you're not trying to impress God. Just be real with Him, you know. She says, He already knows what you're thinking. So if you're struggling or if you're mad at God, just tell Him. He already knows. And Jennifer talks to God as if she were talking to her best friend, as if He were sitting right here. And then I love one of my favorite things that Jen has said is she said, Mom, God is always talking, but we're not always listening. And you have to, prayer is a two-way communication where you ask God and then He speaks to your heart. And there's one story I would love to share. Jennifer was having a hard day and she was sitting in this chair in our family room and she was praying out loud with her eyes closed and she said, Lord, whisper hope in my ear. And so I tiptoed over and I went like hope in her ear and she looked at me and do you remember what you said?
Well, I was like, you are not the Lord. And that's not at all what I was asking for.
You wanted it right from the Lord himself.
What were you asking God to tell
you?
you?
I was just asking God to tell me, you know, that I could do it, that I could make the finish line, that He'd be there to help me every step of the way, that He believed in me and that He thought I was beautiful and that He'd give me His courage and His strength.
And did He do that for you, Jen?
Oh, definitely. He still is every day.
You know, this is just a sidebar and our time is up this time, but we are recording this in the 2nd week of March. Do you know that it's Brain Awareness Week?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
A global campaign to increase public awareness of the progress and benefits of brain research. One of the things that is typical of a traumatic brain injury is that the patient loses most or all inhibitions.
Yes.
Now, I'm not giving credit to just normal injury because I know God has given you a gift.
Yes.
But boldness, you got.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Much more to
Thank you
share
so much.
about this story and Hope Out Loud,
Yes.
the ministry that this family brings all over. More about music, more about worship, more about Jesus, but it's all in here. You want to get your copy. Here's how.
Jennifer Barrick was a beautiful, bright 15-year-old girl who was passionate about sharing the love of Jesus that she had found. She recorded intimate journals reflecting her deep desire to lay down her life for God, even if it meant she had to stand alone. A couple months later, the Barrick family was struck by a drunk driver leaving Jen in a coma for 5 weeks. When she awoke, Jen didn't recognize her family, didn't know how to brush her teeth or what to do with a shoe. But she remembered scriptures and every word to every praise song that she had hidden away in her heart before the accident. As friends and family would gather to worship in the hospital, Jen would see Jesus there among them, and she would reaffirm her commitment to do whatever he wanted her to do. Prayers for total healing were petitioned by many, but a loving God had something else in mind. Instead of making her normal, God is making Jennifer and the whole Barrick family extraordinary. They are living above their circumstance, beyond their own strength, and in the fullness of Christ as they trust in him. Miracle for Jen is our thanks to you as you partner with us. We invite you today to become a Crossroads Foundation member with a monthly pledge of $30, a Builder member at $60 a month, or a Crossroads Council member at $100 per month. To receive your copy, call 1-888-288-0003 with your membership pledge or special gift. You can also write us or visit crossroads.ca.